Hi team leaders, I'm going to try and be a little more dynamic and more exciting in this week's video meeting. The reception of the meeting was pretty good, so I'd like to continue it as many times as we can so we both save on time in the afternoons after school. So I'm going to go through the agenda that we have for this Wednesday, as well as some questions to think about when you go into your team meetings. Hopefully the background is a little more exciting. I got a purple shirt on, so I'm not like all white. I'll have a little more excitement to my voice. It'll be all good. All right, so most teams need a little extra time to dig into their data, get into some of the team reflections and individual reflections. I want you to make sure that each team member, please have them do their individual reflections. I got some feedback that, well, we didn't have time to do the individual reflections, but we did do our team one. We got to, if this is going to be a team event, we've got to make sure every member of our team is being as successful as they can. So we can't leave out that individual reflection. It's just as important to make up the whole as so doing individual reflections, big deal. I'd like to read them. I've been reading them, so it's good. If you don't have your end of course assessments, you're going to do a couple of things. You're going to continue with your common assessment building, as well as I want you to look at your SMART goals, modify them, reevaluate them if you need to based on any common assessments from the first semester that you gave. A couple of things that I really want you to think about as you're going through looking at your data, looking at your results. I want you to ask yourself, now that we're looking at these results and now that we've developed some common assessments, we've gave some common assessments, we can see what our students are doing. What are we going to do with these assessment results? I know some teams have looked at their questions and have decided that they didn't really ask a very good question. Are you as a team going to give that same test several times before making any modifications? Are you going to take those assessment results and talk about some instructional practices, talk about why the results were what they were? I know we do that a lot with our end of course assessments, but now that we're building our common assessments, it's just as important to go over that information with those events leading up to the big test at the end. The other question that I want us to think about is, why didn't the students learn? I saw many times in your reflective questions that you were a little disappointed that you may not have done well on a certain standard because you focused on that, your SMART goal was surrounded on that, you put a lot of emphasis on it, and students still didn't do very well. Why didn't they do very well? Think about not just the test, but maybe the instructional practices. We are going to have some time in our learning teams to start talking about instructional practices, start doing some lesson planning together, and hopefully with the lesson planning and the instructional strategies and our common assessments, we'll be able to tackle those standards and skills that the students are still not doing well with. So 2 questions that I want you to really think about this week are, what do we do with the assessment results that we get, including our common assessments, and why didn't our students learn, and what are we going to do about it? The last note probably is, what are we going to do about it, meaning the intervention. We can reteach, but how are we going to reteach? Does that mean we're going to have extra tutoring time? Does that mean we're going to differentiate our lessons a little bit? Does that mean we're going to have students come after school? What does that mean when we're going to intervene besides the just have them retake the test? What are we truly going to do to help our students be successful? So that's for this Wednesday. We are in review. We're in our teams. We're going to continue our data digs. We're going to continue modifying our SMART goals and continuing on with our common assessments. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, please give me feedback on this. Hopefully this one was a lot better than the last one. And we'll continue this as many times as we can. And I hope you all have a good day in your learning teams, and let me know if you need anything. Thanks.